We live in, we are live. We live, what's good? We live. So, what's your choice of words? I want to start off by saying, Asikina to the Most High, Universal Life Force Source, the Great I Am, the Almighty, the Big G, not the little one. You may call him Allah, but I beg to differ. You know what I'm talking about? Do y'all know that there's two spellings of Allah? Did y'all know that? I know that Allah is an entity. Now, some may say that there's several Allahs, and you are correct. However, when you refer to the Great I Am, He is Masikina, the Great I Am, not Allah. So, I'm about to ruffle them feathers. I know that if you say Allah in a prasafo, you will get something else. Greetings, victorious, vanglorious. Hello, naturally. How are all of you today? I will make up my own name, like everyone else did throughout history. So I call him the Big G, not the little one. Because just like Allah, there is a big one and there's a little one. You know what I'm talking about? Do you know the difference in cultural belief when it comes down to do with Allah? Some are fully aware of what they're calling on, others are not. I know this because I study. I don't just receive something that someone else created and take it as actual factual. I do my research because I want to know what makes someone decide that they're going to make a reference to the Great I Am, Universal Life Force Source, by saying, Allah Sashikati. We know that as an abomination. You know, someone will go a roundabout way to get support. You ever been to an independent film festival where you truly have film creators that fund their own stuff? I have, because I was once in film. These movies that we see, these major motion pictures, are individuals that have backing. You know what I'm talking about? When you go the independent route, that means they fund everything. And me, I believe that those are the ones that need true support. You know what I'm talking about? You ever seen the same genre recreated timeline after timeline after timeline after timeline? And it just makes you think there's no creativeness in film. It's just a resurface of the same old stuff. Just recreated for a different era, for a different gore, for a different edish. Put a fet in front of that. You ever just see something and make you wonder why? There's so many people gravitating towards this genre. It is because of where you're at. You know what I'm talking about? You may not see it as Angosta but the U world does. Which brings me to another point. How did we become the overseers of the Gore? While all of the individuals support the real Gore leaders. You ever just been minding your own business when you see a Gamun? And not the kind that protect you. You can spot them because their eyes are pitch black. Pitch black. They seem to always have energy. You know, especially the ones that are older. They just be moving and you say, do they got wheels on their feet? Because you look like you're every bit of 1,000 and you're moving like you are 60. It's an interesting thing. What is your choice of words? People at the top want to remain at the top. You feel me? And so sometimes they only want to support those at the top. This is a new paradigm. You know what I'm talking about? What'll happen is people will see straight through you. Remember when I said in one place someone will be totally fine, and then in another you see their true nature. You just gotta give it a minute. I've been fooled like this for years, eons. You meet someone, they're fine. Everything is copacetic. Then all of a sudden, something shifts. And you realize that who you thought somebody was, they are not. It's kind of like you're in a gore film. Y'all know what gore is? Put it in the chat, what's up, Wash? If you know what gore is. Gore is strategically associated with the U world. You ever wonder why? Why would someone put the Lee, put a G-O-D in front of it, with the Lee, put a G-O-D in the middle? Why would they do that? Anyone got any answers? Because we are a group of intelligent beings. I reckon that people want to know why. It's kind of misleading. You know what I'm talking about? It's misleading. You start to think that this is actually what they're about. I did a live where I talked about someone pushed all of their protection away by uttering something that they felt was for them. And then when they got mollywopped by their own adolescent, no one was there. You ever just been saying, Asakia, help me. And they say nothing? Because you said, Osifio, Sakanina. And they said, all right. He sent you to help, but you decided that they were unly. And then you went and watched Gore. And decided that that was a SAFE place. You ever just dissect the word vampire? Because I have. Some of you, you're aware that I have a vamp card. Do you know what it is to vamp someone? Some of y'all do, but you don't know it. You've experienced it, but you felt like it feels good. If you feel like I'm being serious, it's only because I poked the bear. You know what I'm talking about? Why is Ether here? Because Ether is working. My niche is unpopular, so they say. So they say. Because the truth is always hidden in plain sight. That's why. You just have to dissect it. The end of Vamp is Irie. You know what I'm talking about? So let's dissect vampire. Every bit of that says someone gets a natural HIGH off of harnessing your energy. Do you know that there are real beings that do that? Movies mimic real life situations, beings. Just because it says documentary doesn't mean that it is real. REAL. Just like when we go into the library, those of you that have been into the library, because there is an era where they don't go into the library outside of the schoolhouse, where you have all these different niches. You have sci-fi, you have history, blase, fantasy. You go into the aisle that you want, you pick up a book, you read it. I remember one time I was talking to someone, and I said I went to the library. And he said, "You got a library card?" As if that was something astronomical. Because apparently, library cards are extinct. You know what I'm talking about? Yes, I do, sir. I had to pause for a minute, like, am I supposed to take that as a sign of disrespect? See, I'm different. You know? I like to be around, converse with intellectuals. And when someone says, "You got a library card?" It's like worse than calling me an itch. What you mean, do I got a... So I said, all right. Do you have one that's... That's what I want to know, because you got to, like, it's a relic or something. Listen, y'all. It's time for us to start using our intellect. Mentellect is something else. Y'all been over there, huh? We got here because I want to say that the rich want to stay rich. with your money. You know, if we're talking about really supporting film, head on over there to the independent genre, where they really putting hard work and effort into it, and not sitting in front of a U-turn, put a car in front of it. You know what I feel like? This is the leveling. This is the leveling here, where people are starting to see things accurately, because you start to realize why the paradigm is the way it is. Apparently, we have chosen, right? Elect ones aren't that popular, but the chosen ones are. You know what I'm talking about? I'm very protective over that title, Elect One, because I had to windmill to get my family. That's why. When I first ran across Chosen One, you know what it made me do? It made me start researching. I'm not one that says, oh, I see something trendy, I'm gonna call myself that. I am a chosen one. Chosen for what? You know, kind of like the saying, saved? What are you being saved from? Being chosen. You know what I'm talking about? Imagine having to prepare to not be chosen. That's something to think about. When you have to get ready to not be chosen, ooh, it's something ugly. When the man upstairs says to do something, he means it. Funny how the chosen ones are the ones that feel like they could cherry pick who they support. It happens all the time. God gives you a hand up, and you take that hand and you feed the core. Simple. You say, help me, help me, help me. I'm doing so bad. And then all of a sudden, he sprinkles you, and you say, now I'm going to support the ones that left me at the bottom. My favorite is, I'm going to go give back to the urge. That's my favorite. That is always the scapegoat. That's always it. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Anyone have any questions for me? Because I feel like there should be a lot of questions. Oh, strategically, there's more that want me to be hidden. Are you sure about that? You know, I had an interesting dream. When I was waking up, I seen what I thought was me dragging something. That's interesting. And all I remember was I just played it off. That's all I remember. They wanted me to believe something, and I went ahead with it. just, I just acted like it was all good in the hood. I just played it off. There was a short that talked about a real event where somebody invited someone somewhere for a menage a trois. You know what I'm talking about? And when he got there, he got whopped. You know what I'm talking about? This was a dude that invited another dude. He said, "Come on in. I got something for you. Let's run one of those choo choo choos." Y'all know what I'm talking about? It's interesting. When you say, "Is anyone trustworthy?" No. Because when the man upstairs says it's time for you to do something, he means it. You know, there's energy amongst 50-year-old males. For some reason, 50-year-old males, when they feel like they're getting closer to the sky, they want to become HOLY. And it's kind of like preachy, you know. Imagine living half of your entire life in Slasa energy, and then all of a sudden, you, you know, I say for the people in the back, and everybody's like, "Go on, Pastor, go on, Pastor." Something about it. All the females and the women in the crowd are saying that is a HOLY man there. But they can't figure out which one is GOD. Is it JESUS or ALLAH? Which one is it? Is it the Most High? Am I confusing Yeshua with Yakadovasi Yarevae? What am I doing? What am I doing here? I don't, because that's what, when you encounter someone like me and you say, "I want to give praise to GOD," and then you say, without JESUS, it wouldn't have been possible. I say, wow, look at that. I mean, half of it is true. Half of it is true. It's, I'm making a joke, but it's disrespectful. Because if you don't know the difference between JESUS and GOD, that means you're somewhere where there's confusion. And when you go to turn on that camera, you just say whatever. You should be saying, why? Did you grow up like that? Did you grow up with a rearing of confusion? I don't ever remember my grandmother saying that JESUS was GOD. I don't ever remember that. And she is truly saved and sanctified. Y'all know nothing about. You ever just realize people just being saying whatever because it sound good? You know what I'm saying? It sound good at the time. And they can fool the masses. This is why I am HIDDEN, because I really be speaking the THRUTH. You know what I'm talking about? 'Cause if you don't know the difference between JESUS and GOD, that means you're somewhere where there's confusion. And when you go to turn on that camera, you just say whatever. Did you grow up like that? I don't ever remember my grandmother saying that JESUS was GOD. I don't ever remember that. And she is truly saved and sanctified. Y'all know nothing about. You ever just realize people just being saying whatever because it sound good? You know what I'm saying? It sound good at the time. And they can fool the masses. This is why I am HIDDEN. I don't see myself ever being in a motion picture, not my likeness. Now I'm pretty sure somebody will write a script and try to place someone there to play me, but not me, because I am not a sellout. You know what I'm talking about? It's only one ether. I don't care if you call yourself ether. Because the way my God works, y'all remember that? The way my God works is he'll make you forget everything on that script. You know what I'm talking about. Ether does not want to be an actress. Actors are males. I don't want to be an actress. I just want to get through the day. You know what I'm talking about? I just want to get through the day. For some reason, people like me, when they just say, I just want to be able to pay my bills, go out and eat a piece of steak that's not tough, if I choose to, drive in something that's not breaking down, take care of my livelihood and my offspring, even in passing. But that looks like if I have $100,000 policy and I have 4 children, they're gonna all get a little share. You know what I'm talking about? That's what I want to be able to do. But you know, the way it works is there'll always be a brawl for someone else's share. You feel me? There'll always be one. People be doing some strange and unusual things for someone else's share. I realize that y'all feel like you don't need me. They said the same thing about Jesus. You feel me? They said the same thing. Now look, 7,000 billion eons. Everybody needs him. Y'all gonna do me like that? Y'all gonna wait 10 billion eons before you say, Ether is my savior? I didn't say I was like him. I said they did that to him. Why y'all always want to put words in my mouth? Y'all feel like, you feel like your whole life is a pow. Your whole life. But if I say something, you feel like I should be scared. Why? You know we have freedom of speech. I'm not turning on the camera and calling someone out and showing any weaponry. That's y'all genre. So why all of a sudden I can't say my thoughts? I'm not disrespectful. Y'all be the ones talk about what y'all gonna do to a female in a disrespectful manner, involving all of her hoes and her friends and her mamas and possibly her child's too. But I can't say the truth. I feel like I'm very intimidating because everyone knows what I'm saying is the truth. Now we have 7,000 researching because they've heard it so much that they feel it's accurate, that Jesus is God. You know how disrespectful that is? Now I know why it was important for this paradigm. I do not care nothing about what anyone loses. You know why? No one cared about what I lost. No one. So this is why the U world is so tight-knit. That's how it is. When you go to play that role that is supposed to be Lucifer, you understand that I'm going to take every word that you feel is mine out of his mouth. After you do 17 retakes, you're going to understand why. Y'all finna see that PROOF. I think it's hilarious. Do y'all realize that film producers watch me? Do y'all realize that? They've done it for Beyonce. They'll observe someone that they feel is interesting and then create a whole movie around them while giving them absolutely nothing. You know, it's really popular now for the music artists to speak about what happened to them during their highest point, or those are what they feel is their highest point. There was an era where people that wrote books talked about the snatching of their intellectual property and the recreation of it. Now we're in the paradigm where the archangels is talking about what you snatched from them. Because you thought they weren't real. There's no big beef about that. If someone took something from you, you would want your accolades. You would want acknowledgement if you know you were the original creator of it. What's wrong with that? There's no one that will see this that would say that they don't want what's rightfully theirs. You know, I had an illustration that sat on my desk with Nefertiti and Asaya. When I ascended high enough, Alpha said, "That is my painting that you have there on your desk." And I said, "This? Do you know that that painting, some of you are going to run across it because you truly want to see in the right energy. It is Ijisaka, Neturu, not Egyptian. That is two women, not a man and a woman. And that was instruction on how to maneuver through the hall of two truths." Now that you have the right information, you can change that. When I decided to put it in the trash, it was because I realized how heartfelt it was for my uncle Someone said you threw that away. Yes, I threw it away because he knows what it means to him when he sees that. I threw it away. I threw everything that had anything to do with the Naturu away because it was a requirement for me to ascend. All of those $100 real stones also went into the trash. All of it. When my universe mother said, "You are not a Netaru," I said, "What?" She said, "You are a descendant of a Netaru. You're not a Netaru." And I said, "Why I can't be none of the cool stuff?" They feel like I am a baby through and through because that paradigm was something vicious. They feel like I should not want to be a Netaru because they were actually Naturus. I know what I'm talking about. Now, anything, okay, FYI, anything that you feel you could use from me, my persona, as you say, my life, you need to run by me first. You know what I'm talking about? And don't y'all act brand new if you see something come out. Y'all sitting there acting like y'all don't know that that is supposed to be about me. Don't act brand new. Don't do it. Don't do it. There's going to be someone of a different race that calls it out because that's how it is. That's how it is. .99 times. That's how it is in the Black community. We always want to blame the other ones. But if we could do it first, we'll make millions off of it. And she can sit in her car and give us more information. Sobre Natashi. That's the energy I'm in. When you try to double up the voice, it's going to malfunction. Because apparently y'all think I'm doubling up something. And I'm just talking on the iPhone. You know what I'm talking about? When I came about of the domain and said, I'm sitting in my car. Y'all decided that her voice never changes when she's sitting in the car. You know what I'm talking about? Sitting in the car. Why she don't turn the camera on? Because she'll be trying to cast someone that you think look like me. Who would play Ether? Would it be Jennifer Hudson? Would it be Gabriella? Would it be Evelyn? Either? Who looks most like Ether? Taraji? Who would play Ether in a Unli movie? Elil, I say that she looks most like I do currently. So there you have it. Let's see. Jill Scott. That's interesting. I would say Elil. Jill Scott is not known for acting. I mean, she's been, but look-wise, people would say, you know. Now, all you gotta do is make you one of those locked wigs. She would have to be around me, you know, to give my energy. And I imagine we would have a jolly, funky good time. Because I'm just real. I'm real. You ever see someone play a role of someone and they play it so good they forget that they are somebody else? I have. I am not upset. I'm just pointing some things out. And the more I point them out, the more others realize their mistake. When you said there's no intercessor between you and the man upstairs, the you world laughed. Then you said Jesus is your God, which they thought was funny because for that era, he was the intercessor because he blocked off communication from everyone. And you can only go through him to get to his Father. Some of y'all, that's gonna fly over your head. That is what Sobriya Dashis are for. They just completely block off all communication. They be like, nope, cut it. They are hilarious. Halabosha, Saska Shikatia. Halabosha, Halabosha. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all know what a halabosha is? They do. I just thought they were saying whatever. They want to know who makes you do that. We know. We know. Why don't you do what's right? And send an email. Why y'all feel like a roundabout way is the best way to go? Like, y'all one of them? Y'all one of them that just want me to be in Verti? Put a POV in front of it. Like, why y'all, oh, I know what it is, the chosen era. It's the chosen era. Now watch everyone say, I'm chosen, because they think you're going to put them in a movie. No, you're not. No, you're not. You won't ever be in that circle. I'm going to tell you that right now. This is real deal Holyfield. You know what I did see? I seen something interesting. Somebody did a short. It's funny how the masses will look at something and it will steer them the way the creator of that Harsi wanted it to be. But when I see it, I just laugh. I say, you shouldn't have poked the bear. You're asking him and he showed you that ferociousness. I think he did a A1 job. You know what I'm talking about? I'm different. Y'all, some of y'all seen when I turned myself into Mike Tyson. I thought that was hilarious. I did that over 10 years ago. It's probably about 12 years. It's 12 years. You did that 12 years ago. And we all laughed so hard. I don't know nothing about numbers. I just know what I can do. That is iconic. When you look into Tyson's eyes, you better not look too long. You feel me? You know what I'm talking about? He just give you that energy, like you looking at me. You done connected with me. Is you open? Put your head down. He gives every bit of put your head down energy when you come across me. I like that. Because people be wanting to play you like you open. Yeah. When we use words like Allah, we're going through a paradigm shift. We feel like we're doing the right thing, the majority of us, because we want to get closest to the truth. Some people become extremely agitated when they realize they've been played with, especially when it comes down to God. Those are my people. You know, before I get up out of here, there was a group that decided that they wanted me to be dirty. They wanted my locks to fall out. Put that in the movie. They wanted me to be sleeping on the street. Put that in the movie. The things that they would ask about my offspring were things that would make you throw up. Put that in the movie. I'm starting to believe that you are a part of the circle. I am resilient. Some of y'all are going to notice that it's everything that I touch that they want. If I wake up in the morning and I touch my face, they want my face. They want my brain. They can have everything, and they still want the little that I have. No one outside of my members should ever ask me for anything. No one. Even in the future. Don't call upon me for anything. My lineage comes with me, so they're not going to have to ask for nothing. My spiritual spouse comes with me, so he ain't going to have to ask for nothing. I'm going to continue to do my work because that's what I'm here to do. But be mindful because I've pulled every last one of y'all's energy. Every last one of y'all's. So I'm going to watch it play out. One of my supporters said she reads for all of these separatists, and not one of them have supported. I'm going to tell you that in the beginning, for those that are really concerned, I know for a fact that I had celebrity support. He would donate out of the blue and not something small. So, you won't see me at no openings. You won't see me buying any stream, because what I know is I'm not a part of that circle. That is it.